I'm Sabrina. Standing on the deck of my mountain cabin on a sunny Saturday afternoon, I look out at the golden aspen trees and the solar panels glistening in the sunlight. The property has been appraised at $730,000, $15,000 more than my father, Henry, tried to sell it for. It's hard to believe how far I've come since that fateful Tuesday morning. It was a typical family breakfast. I was sitting across from my father at the kitchen table, a cup of coffee halfway to my lips. My mother, Lily, was making pancakes, and my sister, Ava, was scrolling through her phone. Henry spoke as casually as if he were discussing the weekend plans. "The mountain cabin sale closes on Friday," he said, buttering his toast. "I got $680,000 for it, finally paying off that business debt." I was stunned. "What cabin? Your cabin?" "Well, our cabin." "Same difference," he smiled dismissively. "Don't worry. I've handled everything. The paperwork is all filed. But this was my cabin. I had bought it 7 years ago for $340,000. I spent 3 summers renovating it myself, replacing the roof, updating the plumbing, and installing solar panels. I rented it out and made $4,200 a month during peak season." Henry had always downplayed it as Sabrina's little hobby at family gatherings, and I had never given him permission to sell it. I set my coffee down carefully. "Dad, you can't sell my cabin. It's in my name, and I never gave you permission." He waved me off. "You're overreacting. I had a friend at the title company take care of it. It's all legal, power of attorney, and all that." I called the cabin's property management company, and they confirmed that there had been showings all week. The buyers did a final walk through on Monday, and an architect had visited to measure for renovation plans. At 9:15 a.m.
My phone rang.
It was the county recorder office. "Sabrina, this is Ethan Reed," the familiar, warm voice said. "Someone just tried to record a deed transfer on your property at 2847 Ridgeline Road. The signature doesn't match the one on file from when you purchased it. I'm flagging this as potential fraud." Ethan was my former tenant. 5 years ago, he rented my downtown apartment for 18 months while saving for a house. I gave him a break on the security deposit when he was short on cash. He'd sent me Christmas cards every year, always saying how that apartment changed his life. Now, as a county recorder, he stopped my father from stealing my cabin. "Ethan, thank you. Can you hold that filing?" I asked, my voice steady. "Already done. I've sent notice to the title company and the buyer's attorney. No transfer will be recorded without your verified notarized authorization," he replied. Henry's face went pale. Ava looked up from her phone, and Lily stopped making pancakes. I immediately called my attorney, Mia Thompson. By 10:15 a.m., she'd reviewed the fraudulent documents. By 11 a.m., she'd contacted the title company, the buyer's attorney, and filed an emergency motion. By noon, the Friday closing was off. That afternoon, sitting in Mia's office with the forged documents spread out on the desk, I started to create what I called the ghost ledger. It was a record of all the times Henry had dismissed my achievements. He always talked about his real business, while calling my cabin a mere hobby. He never recognized my hard work over those 3 summers of renovation. Thanksgiving 2021, I mentioned the cabin generated $48,000 a year, and Henry changed the subject within 30 seconds. Lily just said, "That's nice, dear," in a tone for kids' art projects. Henry's sporting goods store failed in 2019. He borrowed $580,000 and spent 5 years complaining about the debt at family dinners, never thinking I wasn't responsible for his mistakes. In 2022, I got a sustainability award for the cabin's solar installation, but Ava got a 15-minute toast for her promotion, and my award was ignored. Henry even casually asked last summer, "When are you going to do something useful with that cabin?" While I was managing a property that had appreciated $290,000 and was making good income, I realized then that this wasn't about his financial desperation. His business loan was on a 10-year repayment plan, and he wasn't in default. It was about control. My success threatened his identity as the family's financial authority, so he tried to take it away. Mia and I started a methodical process to fight back. First, we collected evidence. We gathered the original deed from March 2017 showing me as the sole owner, property tax records, insurance policies in my name, 7 years of rental income tax returns, and renovation permits issued to me. Then, Mia hired Dr. Olivia Green, a forensic document examiner. Her report was damning. The signature on the power of attorney had a 96.8% probability of being forged. The notary seal was digitally manipulated. Ethan conducted his own investigation and found that Henry had used a legitimate notary's information, a woman named Grace Miller, who had notarized Henry's business documents 2 years ago. Grace confirmed she'd never notarized any power of attorney for me. The title company, after their review, told the buyers, a couple named Ryan and Sophie Lee, that they couldn't proceed with the transaction. Mia negotiated on the Lees' behalf, and Henry had to return their earnest money and expenses totaling $83,400 within 30 days or face civil litigation. The County Fraud Division opened an investigation. Detective Lucas Carter subpoenaed Henry's bank records, text messages with his business partner, and interviewed Grace. Henry hired attorney Victor Harris, who argued that the power of attorney was legitimate, that I'd given verbal authorization, and the sale was for the family's good. But Mia systematically dismantled each claim with solid evidence. The district attorney filed charges of forgery, theft by deception, criminal impersonation, and attempted theft of property over $500,000. Henry was arrested at home. He still thought it was family property and that I should help him. The trial lasted 8 days. The prosecution presented Ethan, Dr. Green, Grace, the Lees, and Detective Carter. The evidence was overwhelming. The jury deliberated for 5 hours and found Henry guilty on all counts. He was sentenced to 3 years in state prison, 6 years of supervised probation, and $186,900 in restitution. He filed an appeal, claiming ineffective counsel and judicial bias, but the appellate court denied it. The consequences for Henry were severe. His sporting goods consulting business dissolved. His professional reputation was ruined. Their house went into foreclosure, and they had to move into a small apartment. Ava sided with Henry at first, but later understood when he tried to add her name to business accounts without permission. Lily tried to contact me, but I set up a restraining order. Now, I stand here on my cabin's deck, looking at what I've built and protected. I've also started a women's real estate investment group. We've acquired 14 properties in the past year. I've learned that setting boundaries is different from revenge. I didn't destroy Henry. He destroyed himself. I just refused to let him use my assets for his destruction. This cabin is mine, legally and rightfully, and no one can take it away.